code, you know what that should look like, right? There should never be unchecked memory space, right? There should never be non-parameterized inputs from the user if you're trying to craft a SQL string. Why would you ever allow that? We did it because we wanted to get SQL out fast. We did it because we needed to see fast. And we weren't thinking, this is what users do. You know why QA fails from software? Anybody working QA for software? All right, so I can talk a lot of trash. Quality assurance. So whenever software gets produced, it's supposed to go through what's called quality assurance, or QA. And what that is people that are not quite software developers, and although in most cases they are, or were at some point, but they have some experience in software development, and they're also not users, right? But they're more like a power user. And they kind of buffer in between the users and the developers. And they sit there, and when the developers make the software, they test it according to the use case, right? Anybody in here into project management or anything like that? All right, I won't go too far off on this, but it's part of what's called the SDLC, right? So when you work in this kind of a group, you have the development life cycle. Part of it's testing it before you deploy it, right? The way you test it, if you're a QA engineer or analyst, is somebody gives you a script, and you follow the script, and you punch buttons. You know what they never, almost categorically never do? Go off script. Oh, they make lots of mistakes. Come on, man, they're human. This is like manual operation, right? So they make a lot of mistakes, but they almost never test the stuff in a way that's not scripted, right? There's never, hey, this red button, what does it do? What's that? It's silly in a way, right? Because you never get a chance to find out what happens when you press the red button if you don't press it. But their job isn't to do that. Their job is to follow step 1 through 10. You follow where I'm going, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So if we don't QA this stuff before we build it, right? And to me, part of the QA, and it's kind of a thought experiment discussion, is to figure out what language should these devices speak. What do we need to do if we're building a compiler? You know, and I don't mean a C compiler, abstract that out to a concept, right? But if we're building that compiler or that CPU or that storage, what does it need to do to be resilient? All right, so any questions about that? Any comments?
Take a short break so they can do food analysis.
Yeah, that's a good idea.